Hi there, Editing Jamie here, and today we have a very good marinade that I'd like to share with y'all. And this is one of the earlier videos that I filmed, so of course I didn't remember to do an intro, but it is a wonderful recipe that my stepdad shared with me, and I just make a little tweak for our family, and you can do the same for yours. It's very forgiving in what you add and what you put into it or what you take out of it, and just make it your own anytime you do it, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks so much for watching. So this $2.99 price, I did not pay that. It was around $1.99. I can't remember exactly, but these are the ingredients that I use: Italian dressing, onion powder, lemon pepper seasoning, garlic, salt, and my special touch is gochujang. It's a Korean chili powder, and adds a sweet heat to it that my family and myself absolutely love. And it's not part of the original recipe, but we love adding that in ours. Now, this chicken is completely frozen, and I like to cut it when it's frozen, but not technically this frozen where you have to pry the chicken apart. So that does take me a few extra minutes, but it's worth it. It makes cutting chicken easier if you do it partially frozen. So I'm going to just take a few minutes to get all of these out because this was a in the moment thought of, oh, I'm going to get some chicken marinated for tomorrow. I always like to do it the day before because I like to let this sit in the marinade a minimum of 2 hours, but no more than 24 hours. I usually aim for about 24 hours. And I recorded this early in the spring, but I was not ready to learn how to do voiceover. So, yay me, learning things. And on this day, my husband and I were just chatting it up while I was getting this dinner ready, planning and scheming things as per usual. But yeah, as you can see right there, it is solid. And it's okay if it's solid, but for conveniences, you don't necessarily want it so frozen that it sticks together. And I'm just going to cut these in thin slices, and then I'm going to cut the slices into thinner strips. So think chicken tenders or chicken fingers along that line. The thinner you cut them, the quicker they're going to cook. And so I cut them on the smaller side. That way it makes the time actual cooking that much better. And you see I'm putting them in a large shallow dish in the back. That is because if you use a deeper bowl, you need more marinade. And I would rather do a longer shallow bowl. That way I can use less marinade, say like the Italian dressing, which is like the liquid part of this. It will cover more of the chicken in a shallow bowl without having to buy more. So even cost savings like that are things that I think about. And let me know if you have any tips for things like that, or if you have a recipe similar to this, because my family absolutely enjoys this. I can't tell you how much. And I'm always looking for more quick marinade recipes like this. And as you see, I cook a bunch of it. Now I'm just going to sanitize my little area just in case I didn't see some chicken touching my counter. We don't want any sort of cross-contamination. Anything you use to touch your raw chicken, make sure you sanitize. Very important. And you see this container also comes with a lid. That's very important. And this is just your regular old, you know what store version of marinade or Italian dressing. And I am going to use the entire bottle, but this is one of the smaller bottles. You can, to cut costs, get larger bottles and use half, or get larger bottles. And while you're doing this, go ahead and do 2 batches and then throw one of them in a gallon bag back into the freezer before your chicken defrost. That's important. You don't want to defrost raw meat, then marinate it, and then stick it back into the freezer. That's unsafe food handling practice. So just so you know, you want to keep it frozen, throw your marinade on there, and that would be a really good idea. I'm actually about to make this again tonight. So I think I will go ahead and take out 2 packs of chicken so I can get one ready for tomorrow and one ready for the freezer. And you see, I just dumped the bottle in there. This is onion powder. You just season to your taste. We like a lot of extra flavor, so this is probably 2 teaspoons of onion powder. I can never get enough garlic, so again, season to taste on all of these, just remembering, to account for maybe half a teaspoon per pound of chicken of garlic. It might be a regular amount. And here goes my lemon pepper. I am not the biggest fan of lemon, but in this, I absolutely love it. And I live in a very humid area, so my seasonings tend to get clumpy. So I usually have to fight them and spread them out. But I found an orange pepper. I think it was at Burlington, of all places, to find a seasoning. But I found it, and I think I'm going to substitute the orange this time and see if everybody likes it. Not that I don't like the lemon in it. But like I said, I don't like lemon, but I don't mind it in this. There's the gochujang. And like I said, that's a sweet heat. There's not, I mean, if you put a whole bunch, you'll have some heat. But it's just a nice little extra, what kind of, the whole, you'll be like, what is that extra flavor in there? And that's what this does to this type of dish. And I got that pack on Amazon. And I can try to link it below if you're interested. That pack is enough to fill a quart jar and then have a little bit extra. And I can never have enough of that. And I'm going to just get this all stirred up as thoroughly as possible before I put my lid on and stick it back in the fridge. You might be able to hear my bird in the background. She hears me talking to you guys and wants to join in on the conversation. All right, so here's where the lid comes into play. Not only does it keep, the whole standard reason of having a lid for the fridge, but I shake it. Instead of having to go in and stir it, I just take this container out and shake that sucker up. So we haven't grilled in a long while because it's been cold. And we opened it up and found a crawfish in there. If anybody knows how a crawfish can get in the top of my grill through those grates, it don't fit there, please let me know, because this is a thing I have never seen before. So this is that chicken that we marinated yesterday that I showed y'all how to do. And I usually shake it in between, but I didn't do that this time, and I think it'll turn out just fine since there's so much liquid. And that was, I can't remember, I guess 4.5 pounds of chicken. I like to make extra so we can have leftover nights. And then we just have a whole buffet of all our leftovers, and we all just pick and choose what we like to have on leftover night. So I'm gonna set you up and you can watch it grill up for a bit. Probably. Yes, I know these aren't the best. I would like to get one of those wooden ones, but that just hasn't been on the to-do. This is from a fairly new set, so I'm okay for a little bit. Grill. Cleaned up and decrawfished. And I'm going to stir up this chicken a little bit. Make sure that oil is all over it. I don't usually use the fat-free. It just is probably substituted. Usually get the original or the zesty. But we made ourselves a zesty one today by putting that Korean gochujang on it. And we're just going to lay these suckers out. Ooh, it already smells good. Get some back there. Try not to catch me on fire. And these should grill up pretty daggum quick since we cut them. I like to cut the breast or use tenderloins, but we found a great deal on the chicken, so we're going to use the breast for this instead of tenderloins because we like a deal. And one of the dogs, if you can hear, is very unhappy that he got left inside. Let it drip a little bit in the pan as I'm getting closer to the bottom. I try not to get too much flare up. This one I want to put there so it has a little more grate under it. Alright, now this gets washed and this goes in the trash because you cannot use this because it had chicken in it. So I'm going to close this up and clean up a bit. Alright, so these look like they're about ready to flip. Hopefully they won't stick. Yeah, look at that. That's all these really need is just to have that color on both sides. Oh, we might leave that one for a minute. It's another reason we added the olive oil, so they'd have a little coat of oil going in on the grill and not stick. As you can see, they're done all the way through. Already, we're just going to get a little color on the other side. We don't want them to dry out. And they've only been on here maybe 5 minutes. This is super, super, super quick. This is one of my family's favorite things to have grilled. We actually call this chicken a la Bob, and Bob is my stepdad. So this is basically his recipe. I modified a little bit, like the Korean chili powder is definitely not on his, but the basis of it is definitely his creation. So I guess when I modify it, it becomes chicken a la Jamie. And these tongs are horrible. Anybody else hate these tongs that come with the barbecue? I mean, I don't have tiny hands, but these are absolutely horrible. And I used my only other pair of long ones to put the raw chicken on. So we're going to let those go through the dishwasher. We're going to turn this side up a little. It might be a good thing that these are cooked through, because I might be running out of gas. I'm sure we have another bottle, but I don't think anybody's going to want to change it tonight. Okay, so the grill will be clean the next time I cook, and this is what the chicken turns out like. And there's dogs bumping my camera because they would love for me to drop this. So, a little prep work yesterday. Had it sitting in the fridge marinating at least 24 hours. A few minutes on the grill. We'll probably cut up a cucumber with some ranch. Anything quick veg like that on the side. My starch eaters will probably find a starch. Could always do mashed potatoes or have a pasta salad or anything like that. Make it as complicated or as less complicated as you want. And enjoy. See you on the next one.